Hello everybody, we're back. It's been a while, I know. DCS has been in kind of a weird state this year while they're adding the multi-threading and a lot of new stuff coming, like maps. So I haven't been producing as much video as I would like to be, but hoping to get flying a little bit more here. So we just had a new map come out, Sinai. This is... why does the sound go out when we go to the map ED? Why is that necessary? It would be very informative to still be able to hear what's going on in our cockpits while we're looking at the crazy map. So this is the full extent of it. It'll let you drag it north and south, but there's no east or west. That's it. So we got the whole Cairo, Egypt area. Nile going south. Does it go? Where's the Aswan Dam? I don't know if we have that. I don't think it's too far south. And there's the Sinai Peninsula, of course. Lots of jet fighter wars happened over here between Egypt and Israel. We have these new symbols on the map for SAM sites. That's kind of nice. It makes it easier to find them. So that it's your job to populate these with the actual SAMs. I don't think any of them are populated, but the revetments and stuff like that are built in there in the ground. Also, it shows you where all the helipad sites are. Ah, there it is. So that's kind of handy too. What else is new? One of the things we're going to have to do is see if... is this the Black Sea, the Dead Sea? One of those. It should be below sea level, but if it's anything like the Syria map, then it won't be. The Sea of Galilee and Syria map should be below sea level too, but it is not. And, oh wait, we have Beirut in this map as well? Except there's nothing there. Okay, so don't go up there. And does that also mean we have Haifa in this? Of course it must. So once again, we've got a duplicated area. This is in Syria, and this is here. And they're similar, but different. This feels a lot like the Normandy map versus the Channel map thing again. Two overlapping maps at the same place. It's I get it, it's a technology limitation. But still it seems a little weird. Anyway, I guess most of where we want to be using this map is down here where the airfields start. Anyway, we'll be getting to those in a following video. I know what you guys want to see right now is the pyramids at Giza. I took a quick flight before this. I know you want to see me land on it. We'll do that in another video. It doesn't seem to be working very well. I think maybe the collision models for these pyramids are perfectly pointy on top, so that when you try and land, you settle on your side and you break a skid and set fire to the pyramid. It's not good. So instead, we're just going to go on a little tour here. This is a really nice looking helipad. And look how big the city is. This has got to be the biggest city they've built in a DCS map yet. And yet my frame rate, so there's 30 frames a second. The best I get on this system, limited by my display, is 60 frames. And sitting here facing towards the city on the outskirts, getting slightly over 30 frames. That's pretty good. My GPU is a GTX 1080, 8 gigabyte. And I've got all the graphics settings cranked up except for SSAA, which you shouldn't use unless you have frame rate to spare. It's wasteful. Use MSAA yes, MSAA instead. None of this matters. Just... oops. Okay. Let's take off. Check. We're good. Okay. We'll fly over and take a look at this one. I didn't know the pyramids had these big slots and doors in them. Maybe they don't. There's always a little bit off in DCS world. It's like an alternate universe. Yeah, that one's got a big gash in it, if you'll forgive my language. So that's the little one. Is the big one in the middle Cheops? We're going to call landing on the top of the pyramid the Cheops challenge. And again, we're not going to try that in this video, but coming soon. And yeah, we got enough frame rate to be able to fly. I wouldn't really want to play war here in the middle of a huge city, but well, not with this frame rate, but if I were to upgrade this to a 1080 Ti, I would be having a great frame rate right now. I'm sure I'd be getting my full 60 frames, and probably a lot higher if I had a faster display rate display. So this all looks pretty good. Even to the point of up at the top here, you can see daylight through the cracks in the blocks. I'm not sure how accurate that is, but it's kind of cool. There, see the light through the crack? So again, I know you want me to try to land on that, but not right now. So we got some kind of visitors pavilion down on this one. I never realized the pyramids were up on a plateau hill like this, overlooking Giza. I thought it was just kind of the dirt backyard of these apartment buildings, which it is, but again, it's up on a hill. I never quite realized was there. I took a look on Google Maps, and sure enough, it's there. Oh, by the way, the only reason that the Huey is flyable right now is because I made this change. Let me show you. New engine model equals false. The file is in your DCS world, mods, aircraft, UH1H, FM folder. And it's the only Lua file in there, fmoptions.lua. Change that first line to false, and you'll go back to the old Huey engine model, and it won't be crazy, and you'll be able to fly properly. I don't know what they think they improved with that new engine model. Everything's worse. What they were supposed to be improving was, I can't really demonstrate it here in hover, but what's supposed to happen is when you chop the throttle in flight, we made a video about this before, when you chop the throttle, those needles are supposed to split, but they don't. So I'm not sure what they fixed. What they broke is the Huey goes way too fast now. Last update, its fuel consumption was way off, but they say they've fixed that. I haven't tested it yet. And the other thing, it's really weird and bouncy and ground effect. It's very hard to get just the right amount of collective in. It either wants to slam into the ground or take off into the air. Again, that's with the new engine model. If you put it back to the old one like I have, then it's all fine. Other than the needle split, which isn't a huge deal, you can still do your autos. This all looks pretty good, and yeah, frame rate could be a little higher, but come on, we're in the middle of a huge city. Some big highways. These ground textures look a little low resolution and crappy. I mean, is that supposed to look like garbage on the ground, or is it supposed to look like garbage? That looks pretty good, actually. DCS maps always look a little bit too clean and perfect. That's, again, kind of the nature of the beast. This is a combat simulator, so every single thing needs to be interactive. You need to be able to shoot it, blow it up, land on it, hide behind it. So you don't quite get the photorealism from an altitude that you get in Microsoft Flight Simulator. However, the DCS cockpits are pretty photorealistic. This one isn't a good example because it's ancient, but yeah, it's weird. DCS has photorealistic cockpits and cartoon buildings, and Microsoft Flight Simulator is the other way around. It's got a cartoon world and or no, it's got a photorealistic world, as long as you don't get too close to anything. And cartoon cockpits that look like they're rendered in pencil crayon or something, really soft and lacking contrast. Be careful we don't get stuck here. Okay, which way are we going? North. We're looking for the river. It should be east of here. Denial ain't just a river in Egypt, baby. Yeah, that ground texture looks like shit. I hope they fix that. But that's the only complaint so far. Everything else looks great. I keep seeing the same building, this one with the brown trim, over and over. But again, that's part of how DCS gives you all this interactive detail by reusing the same objects. And who knows, maybe Cairo is full of brown-sided apartment buildings. I don't know. Never been. Heading east. I don't think we've crossed the river yet. Boy, can you ever get lost in this city? I don't even think we're in Cairo proper yet. I think we're still in Giza. I don't have civilian traffic turned on just because I didn't want to impact my frame rate further. Here's the river. Cool. These roads look serviceable. Big island in the river. Okay, we'll head north up the Nile. Up into downtown Cairo. And the Nile River Delta. I think there might be more dock-like things on the river, but who knows? Take this little branch down here. Oh, is that water tilted? Never like to see that. Tempted to go under that bridge, but again, I don't want to cut my flight short. We'll try and fly like our life matters. Still heading pretty much due north. This looks almost like it could be an American city or something around here. Make a good stand-in for various locations. Okay, and I don't know much of anything about Cairo or its landmarks, so no idea how accurate it is or what these buildings are, what they're called. Look at that. Neat. Stadium. Cool. Let's dump it right down in the stadium. Woohoo! Oh yeah. That's something I never realized about helicopters until I started flying them in DCS, that you can just fall out of the sky if you want to, and then they'll obediently do it. It's no big deal. Now, if the buildings are anything like the pyramids, then they've got the bug that we've seen in other early maps where simply touching the building with the skids of your helicopter will set it on fire. The building, that is, not the helicopter, which is silly. I'm not sure why that seems to be the default property that new... Oh, here's a good example of something. Okay, we got VRS. Let's fly. Okay. Back to the shiny building. Here's a good example of something that Microsoft Flight Simulator doesn't do very well. They'll take photographic pictures of the sides of real buildings and map them on. So from a distance it looks quite nice, but then when you get close there's no detail and there's no reflections from glass and stuff like that. Well, some buildings have it, but many don't. In DCS, every building that has glass has shiny glass. It doesn't reflect the world, but it gives you a reasonable sense of lighting. I can't look in the glass and see my helicopter or anything like that, but still, it looks a lot more real than just pasting a photograph on the side of a box. Like each one of these little apartments has its own highly detailed balcony. Look at that. But then they'll do other stuff like just the building looks like it's brand new, perfectly clean. Now supposedly this is an independent developer, but I don't believe that. I think ED, like the myth that third-party developers work on a lot of their modules. It gives them an excuse to hide behind. Oh, it's not ours, it's those other guys' fault. Where in fact they're not third-party developers at all, they're partners. They sign a special deal with ED. They only sell their products through ED's site. They are not independent developers by any means. But yeah, this is every part of these you can interact with. You can shoot, you can hide behind. Particularly for helicopters, that really makes a big difference. Assuming the collision models are correct. Sometimes it takes them a while to get those all fine-tuned. We might try some building landings towards the end of this flight, but I just want to show you a bit more Cairo first. This is the first I've seen of most of this too, other than the pyramids. So I'm pretty happy with it, other than those garbagey looking ground textures. I heard some scary things about the frame rate, but seems about on par to me. I'm happy with it. I could probably squeeze a few more frames per second out by reducing my shadow quality, but not gonna. That's a cool looking tank. Huh. Whee. Okay, let's get a bit of altitude and get some perspective here. So yeah, as I remember from my schoolboy days, there's a great big river delta up here. Looks like that's what we're seeing now. What do we see on the map? Where am I? Delta's more, wow, quite a ways. Actually, it doesn't look very delta-y at all, does it? Well, I guess the river splits. Close enough. And yeah, I thought I was a lot closer to the ocean than I am, but I'm still way down here. We'll just follow the river. A little over 100 knots. Yeah, this city is just immense. Yeah, it seems to be working pretty well at the level of detail system. You can see the detail start to fill in as I zoom in there in the distance. That looks pretty good. These seagulls, the usual ugly DCS seagulls. Whoa. Yep, that's them. Diving into the water. It's like, now, the seagull is obviously an object built into the map. It's not in the, what they call the encyclopedia in DCS. You can't place them anywhere. So if they're part of the map, why are they all ugly on every map? They don't look like actual birds. They don't... Actually, these may be a bit different. They might be improved. Are they actually supposed to be fishing? Is that why they're diving in the water? Are they pelicans? Whoa! Okay. This is the problem when the water is this smooth. Happens in real life too. Let's do it again. This time I want to go south from where we took off. There's some more pyramids down there. All right. Come on. Check. We're good. So yeah, there's these pyramids that everybody knows at Giza. But then off in the distance, there's more. Let's go take a look at them. Oh, and two more over there. Oh, I almost forgot. There's a Sphinx. I wonder what it's like to live in one of those apartment buildings where the Sphinx is staring in your window. It's got no face at all. Anyway, close enough, I guess. Airport. Cargo. Good looking trucks. Even the ground clutter looks pretty good. This is always a problem, is where the clutter comes in. What they need to do is make the clutter so it's not darker or lighter than the general brightness of the texture in the background. Right now, the way the clutter comes in makes it darken the terrain that's closer to you, because all the bushes are darker than the sand. If those bushes also had lighter aspects to them, in about a 50-50 ratio, then they wouldn't make a noticeable brightness difference as they turned on as you approach them. Not sure what all this industrial stuff is, but something. It must be where they make their embalming fluid. Nice little stream. I'm guessing it's probably a man-made canal, irrigation canal. So this is more like an area you might actually play war in. And again, we're getting over 30 frames a second, which is about the point I stopped noticing the frame rate. I prefer the full 60 that my display can do, but anything over 30 is pretty good. More apartments, more streams, and more pyramids. Oh right, that's one of these stepped ones. Going to be fun to try and land inside those oil tanks with the floating roofs. Yeah, it's like a big beehive. That's just a lump. Pyramids version 1. Whoa. Keep flying. That's kind of weird. That one's got warts. Okay, and where was that other one I saw? Oh, over here. What's the name of that other ancient site that's just to the east of Cairo? Where all the cool pillars and statues and stuff is. Should know that. Right on the tip of my tongue, I can't remember it. We'll have to try and see if that's on this map. Not on this flight though, I'm sticking near the Nile. Or come to think of it, maybe it is on the Nile. So I thought it was east of Cairo, but I could be wrong. Or sorry, west. These are two lonely pyramids out here. .45 frames per second. 50 if I look out towards nothing. And 60 if I look up at the sky. That's cool. Yeah, do all the pyramids have these holes in them? Why have I never seen that before? Excuse me. I think this one's exactly the same. Whee! Bit of a return to target there. That's cool. Okay, head back to the river. East. What's the local time here? 7 a.m. Actually, it's 7:30 now. Oh, no. 12 after. So. Definitely a lot of reuse of the same 5 buildings over and over again. What they should do, and goes a long way, is, instead of, like I just said, 5 buildings, instead make it like 7 buildings, but 2 of them you hardly ever see. And just pepper those among the ones that are more common. If you do that, it looks a lot less regular. Gonna fool the eye. But still, perfectly acceptable. You might not be able to find your house like you can in Microsoft Flight Simulator, but again, every building can be, you can play war in. Whee! What do they grow on all these grass fields here? They sure do grow a lot of sod. Some kind of crop. Just want to see what this facility over here is. Oh, neat. What is it? That's awesome. That building's got one hell of an air conditioning system. Trucks. More garbagey ground textures. I don't even mind the cluttery look of them. It's just you can see the pixels in that one texture. Everything else looks appropriately sharp except for that. Looks bad. Even at that same resolution, I'm sure they could just make a less lumpy looking texture. It would be a bit more appropriate to these urban environments. Lots of good looking industrial stuff. Again, the same. Oh, that's kind of cool. Transformers. Yeah, this looks good. There's no pleasure boats. No commercial shipping either. Of course, you can place it manually in the mission if you want. Oh, in fact, didn't this map add that, what was that ship that got stuck in the Suez Canal? Is that built into this map, or did they give us a new static object we can place? Anyway, that'll have to be on the next video. We're not going to Suez yet. So, do ships not navigate this far? Whoa, under the wires, under. That was close. Yeah, I guess ships can't navigate past here because these bridges are low. They have barges and stuff now, right? But yeah, nothing very tall is getting under that. Okay, I'm not going back through those wires. Oh, those are cool looking tanks. Oh, right, water treatment. Very cool. I don't think I've seen a water treatment plant like that in a DCS map yet. It's pretty. I have a feeling real Cairo isn't this clean and shiny. We've also got perfect weather today, which isn't so unreasonable for this part of the world. I've got the new Normandy 2 map update as well. I've been working on putting together some videos of that for you. Those are going to take a little longer though, because they want to get some good weather and other effects going on. But we'll do a tour of that map soon too. where we started. Got a hill over here. That's probably enough, Cairo. Let's just get some altitude now. We'll burn Mr. Huey up. Maybe I'll end the video with trying to land on a pyramid. Yeah, look at all that stuff. Just miles of it in every direction. Cool. Look at that. I wonder how much turning on civilian traffic would slow this map down. I wonder if there's trains. What kind of trains do they have in Egypt? Do they have trains in Egypt? I would think so, but maybe not. Man, this is cool. Okay, we're gonna go follow this highway. Back to the pyramids. There we go. Weird. Yeah, there's just way too many of that same brown apartment building. It's because it's so descript, it's got that brown highlight, so it really sticks out. Now, if it happened like about a tenth as much as we're seeing it, it wouldn't look so wrong. Again, this is kind of a minor nitpick. It's there's a real art to making the same stuff over and over again look different. Back when I used to do 3D graphics work, that was a whole area that I used to call simulating visual complexity. there. It's cool. What are examples of simulating visual complexity? One thing is, you remember that tower we passed by earlier that had that kind of mesh to it? Anytime you get something that's like a mesh with another mesh behind it, and in a way, even the city full of buildings is like that, that simulates complexity visually. Makes it look like things are more detailed and complicated than they are. Yeah, they really need to fix that in between the buildings texture. That's the one glaring ugly thing on this map so far. Oh, let's visit Sphinxy again. Alright, which one should we land on? It's not going to work. This one has a nice flat top. I think what's going on is the collision model is perfectly pointy. Even though the top of the visual model is flat, I think we will find that the collision model comes to a sharp point. Or maybe not, because in that case I should run into it, because the top of the pyramid's missing. But nevertheless, when I try to plant my skids on top here, even if I do a good job, yes, I know I'm approaching from underneath, but it's just easier this way. Lives are at stake. Okay. Oh. Great time for the track IR to get flaky on me. Okay. Right there. Oh my god. Did I do it? I won the Cheops challenge. I did it. I actually did it. Second try. Okay, so I just wasn't quite far enough forward before, and I barely am enough now. But look at that. Alright, DCS community, are you ready for the Cheops challenge? You know what to do. That was 50% fuel, by the way. And otherwise slick. Cool. Wow. Look at all that. Let's do a quick free camera here. Woo! Which way are we going? Heading north. Wow. Okay, so this is what they call the delta, all this green area up here. Oh, this is cool. I realized I could just fly around the map in flying camera view like this really fast, give you a quick preview, but I like to keep it about the aircraft. Again, the same power plant over and over and over again. Looks good, but if you make two that are similar but not the same, then your brain will process that as you're not seeing the exact same one over and over again. But if you just use one and use it over and over, your brain spots that instantly. What are these things? Woo. Here's some interesting stuff. How do the waves look in this map? They make some sound. Do they have height? Yeah, a little bit. That's improved lately. There's that crazy bird again. Look at that. It's like, have you ever seen a bird? They don't look like that. They don't fly like that. Is it a bird or a butterfly? Silly. And yep, same power plant or whatever it is, factory, over and over and over. Again, just shake it up a little, just enough to fool the eye. Okay, what's over here? Port stuff. Wow, it just goes and goes. Oh my God, look at it all. Look at all this stuff. Wow. And there's the end of the world. We're going to Libya. Whoosh. What does it look like from space? Interesting. So what do they do in these? Farm fish? Grow algae? Clams? Oysters? Are they making salt? No idea. Okay, more Sinai map preview to come soon. Stay tuned. Oh, and like and subscribe, for fuck's sake. Goodbye.